Just a few days ago, Nissin released yet another commercial for Cup Noodle crossing over with One Piece, showing an alternate reality where the Straw Hats are high schoolers attending a normal school in a suburban Tokyo. As is with the previous commercials, this one is jam-packed to the brim with tons of Easter eggs and little details made specifically for One Piece fans. However, many of these details are ingeniously well hidden, and while many have already analyzed these commercials, there's definitely a lot more details that hide under the surface, so I thought that as the resident analysis guy, I might as well pick them apart and see every single detail that are hidden in these commercials. Now, I do realize I am a bit behind. There's already a commercial for Zoro, as well as one for Nami, and a music video for all the Straw Hats, but I thought that since this is the most recent one, I might as well start with this one. I'll go back and do the other ones pretty soon, but for the moment, let's focus on this one. The star of this commercial is Vivi, with the events of the commercial serving as a metaphor for her journey within the story. The main overarching plot of this commercial is that Vivi is transferring schools, not being able to remain with her high school friends. This parallels her being forced to leave the crew when she stays behind at Alabasta, though here instead she's changing schools and moving away from them. In the first shot of the commercial, we can see her hanging out with the Straw Hats on the school rooftop. She immediately stands out from everyone else as her clothing is more well kept than any of the other Straw Hats, likely to indicate her prestigious lineage that she comes from. Perhaps, in this universe, her family is from a distinguished company, or her father might even be a politician or governor to mimic what Cobra's role has in the main series. Next to her we have Nami, who is drinking from a tangerine juice carton, though the packaging is mildly different from the one seen in the other commercial, perhaps being from a different company. On the left instead, we have Sanji practicing a bit of football with Chopper. This is referenced in the official bio provided by these commercials, where Sanji is stated to be skilled in football. This, in turn, is something that Oda has referenced many times in additional material. For one, in one of Oda's old omake, it's shown that in a school setting, Sanji was said to be the ace of the soccer club. In the special OVA, Dream Soccer King, that was included with the third movie, Sanji is shown to be by far the most competent football player in the team. And once, Oda even drew Sanji as a football player in the cover of the 42nd Shonen Jump issue of the year 2000, among many other occasions. All of these, of course, is based on the fact that Sanji has impressive control of his legs, making him well suited to football, hence why he has been represented like this many times. The whole time, Sanji has his hands in his pockets, an allusion to how he always keeps them inside when fighting with his legs in the main series. The following panning shot shows Luffy sitting on the ground as well as Zoro and Usopp on the side, practicing what is known in Japanese as Shinken Shirahadori, or the act of catching a moving blade. This is a martial art technique used to stop an incoming blade when unarmed by attempting to stop it with both bare hands, and it has long since been associated with stereotypical samurai training. In this case, however, Usopp ends up missing the blade. We then switch to a scene where Vivi is taking the Shinkansen, the famous Japanese bullet trains that are often used to cross the country from a prefecture to another distant one. The billboard alone features several Easter eggs. The train's name, for example, is Shinkansen Kokoro, likely referencing Kokoro, the train conductor from the Water 7 arc. This might in turn be a wordplay on Puffing Tom, where Puffing is replaced with Shinkansen and Tom is replaced with his assistant, Kokoro. The time is 9:26, and while this might not mean anything, it's possible it might be a play on words. 26 is Robin's number, as in Japanese, it's read the same as her initials, Ni and Ro for Nico Robin, 2 and 6. As such, it could represent Vivi leaving the crew and Robin entering in, forming part of the current number of 9 total Straw Hats, because apparently Shueisha still doesn't want to acknowledge that Jinbe exists. The destination, however, is a far more ingenious detail. It reads Tottori, which refers to the Tottori prefecture of southern Japan, which is quite far away from Tokyo. The brilliant detail here is that Tottori is famous for having the only desert-like area in Japan, being a set of sand dunes found in the prefecture and one of its most iconic tourist attractions. In this regard, Vivi is quite literally moving to the only part of Japan that has a desert in it, an obvious reference to her homeland of Alabasta on Sandy Island in the main series. The writings at the bottom instead is simply generic text you'd usually see as a station, stating non-reserved seats can be found in cars 1 through 7, as well as cars 13 through 15 of the Shinkansen, something with the text cut off at the end, so they don't really mean that much. Here, Vivi, who is already departing for her journey, can be seen with the hairstyle she had when bidding the Straw Hats farewell in the main series, which clashes with her ponytail that we saw before, which was how we mostly saw Vivi on her adventures during the main series. Her dress even changes to reflect that, with her yellow outfit mimicking the golden collar and her pink ribbon mimicking her cape's collar. Vivi checks out her phone, where you might notice that instead of any phone company's logo on it, it instead has a dented mushi-shaped logo, an allusion to how those are the main means of communication in the One Piece world. We then transition into Flashback, where a lonely and depressed Vivi meets the Straw Hats for the first time. Nami asks her to join them for a hanami, a Japanese festivity where people gather under sakura trees when they bloom in spring and have a picnic as they enjoy the beauty of the pink flowers. In this case, however, it's an obvious reference to the sakura bloom we see at the end of the Drum Island arc. The Straw Hats cheering and celebrating is also likely another reference to the party they had at the end of the Drum Island arc for welcoming Chopper in the crew, where Chopper particularly is the star of that party. In the background instead, we can see Otohime campaigning to gather signatures, trying to get San Carlos interested in the proposition. This is because Otohime needed the help of a celestial dragon, in the case of the main story Saint Mjosgard, to obtain her permit. That said, for someone like Carlos, I think it'll definitely be a little harder to convince him, though I certainly wouldn't put it past Otohime's kindness. The next shot shows the Straw Hats shooting together, and once again there are plenty of references here. Nami encourages Vivi to join them and study together, and can be seen using the same pen from the first commercial and also strutting a geography book. Next to her is Usopp listening to music with his headphones, referencing the headphones he can often be seen wearing in the main story. Sanji calls at Vivi with his iconic Chuan honorific, with Nami trying to stop him in the next scene. Zoro's notebook reads, "Koko ga sugoi, Nissin tamashi," which translates to, "It's pretty cool here, Soul of Nissin," a reference to the company Nissin itself that made this very commercial. Luffy is quite simply fast asleep, while Chopper is researching the Amyudake, the poisonous mushroom that he gave to Hiriluk, believing that it would save him, though as his notebook indicates, the Amyudake proved to be deadly. The skull and crossbones depicted on the book are identical to the ones that appear in the main series, where Chopper mistook them for a Jolly Roger and as such believed that they could save his father. Chopper also has the most books under his desk as well as above his desk, as he is the most studious of the group. References aren't just limited to the Straw Hats, however. In the background there's a poster of a crying Koby screaming "Inochi ga mottai dai," which translates to "We're throwing lives away." His facial expression and the line itself both represent his iconic speech in Marineford, where he's saying that the lives of the Marines on the pirates are being thrown away by continuing to prolong the war. Below it is written Seito Kaicho Koho, or Candidate for Student Council President, showing that in this universe, Koby is trying to become that instead of an admiral. Saying "we're throwing away lives" though might be a bit too overdramatic for just trying to become the Student Council President. Behind Sanji, there's a drawing of the Jolly Roger Luffy Drone Laboon, while next to it is a statue made of Buggy's hand and feet, which was also present in previous commercials. Similarly, the cat Plushie was also present in the other commercials, which is a cat by the name of Nicole that serves as the mascot of the band that made the music for this video, Bump of Chicken. Next to it is a model of the Thousand Sunny, with writings in the background being the same from the previous commercials. Finally, on the right shot, we have the 4 commanders of the Revolutionary Army, obviously not counting the commander of the Grand Line Army, Ivankov, playing a game of cards, being Lindbergh, Bello Betty, Karasu, and a mostly off-screen Morley. Their clothing choices are mimicked here, with Lindbergh and Morley having their iconic hats, Bello Betty having her tie and glasses, and Karasu having his foulard, with his Plague Doctor mask being very cleverly changed for a common medical mask, especially used in Japan when one is sick. The next scene has the Straw Hats looking after a sick Nami, which obviously references the events of the Drum Island arc. The pattern on her bedsheet is even the same as the one she had in the Drum Island arc, while the colors are likely based on those of the jacket she wore in that arc, which Luffy iconically used to hold Hiriluk's flag together. Luffy tries to feed Nami with a tangerine, which likely references quote during that arc that maybe if Nami ate something that she'd start to feel better. Zoro isn't present in this shot because during that arc he stayed behind on the ship. A key can be seen on Nami's bed, which references the key that Nami stole from Wappo to enter the castle armory and later gave it to Kureha. However, the group is interrupted by the school nurse, Kureha, getting mad at them, as she often did in the series. She's wearing the same 2 sets of glasses as well as her traditional outfit beneath her lab coat. Behind her is a cloth with a sakura pattern, as well as a poster above it with the pattern of her pants, alongside her trademark bottles of alcohol. Behind her are 2 medical students, being Trafalgar Law and Caesar Clown, better illustrated in the official line art. Instead of official line art, Law even jokes about having stolen Caesar's heart. Okay, so I just realized now while doing the post-editing that there are a couple details I missed in this scene. So very quickly, behind Kureha there's a sign with a D written on it. This is likely a reference to her line at the end of the Drum Island arc where she says, "The will of D lives on." Also behind Law and Caesar there's a box with Nami's tattoo on it, but also the kind of medical figure behind the 2 of them looks a bit like Virgo, and since Virgo had a big presence in the Punk Hazard arc, it could be him. It doesn't quite look the same in the official liner, but it is possible that it was changed during production. The next shot shows the Straw Hats running together under rain. Here, Nami is the only one to have brought an umbrella, just like she did in the other commercial, as a reference to her knack for meteorology. Vivi is reaching her hand out to the sky, as a reference to how it never rained in Alabasta and was so happy to see rain fall again. Sanji instead, just as indicated in his profile, can be seen chewing on a lollipop instead of a cigarette. Oh god, 4Kids was right all along!
Zolo! What's all that noise?
Sanji's lollipop. I want to find out what he's always slurping on.
Next to them is a train, which, judging by the green color, is the iconic Yamanote line, one of the most famous and well-known railways lines in Tokyo. There's many spots where it is possible to walk right next to the Yamanote line as depicted in this scene. Riding the train are other several familiar faces: Tamanegi, Piman, and Ninjin, the 3 members of the Usopp Pirates, Hogback and Sindri, who even has her trademark scar over her face, Bartolomeo secretly idolizing the Straw Hats and wishing to be their friend, Garnet, Zeph, and Patty from the Barati, as well as a hidden Panda Man. The next scene takes place at a summer festival, which might serve as a bit of a parallel with the Alabasta arc, as we see Luffy picking a fight with Crocodile at the center. The pale-looking Falcon can also be seen carrying a bomb in the background, continued from the last commercial, with a large firework explosion in the background, maybe even paralleling Fell's sacrifice at the end of the arc. Vivi, who is dressed with a yukata, turns towards Luffy worried, likely as a parallel to her being worried when Luffy decided to fight Crocodile. Robin also can be seen turning towards Luffy, which is likely the point in this storyline where she starts to find an interest in the Straw Hats. Similarly, Brook and Frankie can also be seen turning towards him, likely alluding to the day that they would eventually join Luffy's crew. To the right, we have Usopp wearing a mask on his head, as is traditionally done in Japanese festivals, except that in this case, the mask is that of Sogeking. Chopper is enjoying some cotton candy, taken from the stand behind him, which reads Wataame, or cotton candy in Japanese. Behind Sanji are Kinemon and Kanjuro, to which next to them is... this guy? Who the hell is he? Well, it's nowhere to be confused at first, because he's not a One Piece character, but the Nazoniku man from the other Nissin commercials. It's simply a character from another Nissin commercial crossing over into this one.
Cup Noodle, Nazoni, Zodio, perfect body.
At the back, there's Mozo and Kiwi doing the traditional super pose, while next to them is Buggy doing the iconic dance from Joker. Anyway, next to Buggy are Okiku and Komurasaki, while the stand above Zoro reads Mizu Mizu Niku, which translates to Water Water Meat, referencing the meat Solar Water 7 that Luffy loved eating so much. On the top left, we can see Penguin, Shechi, and Beppo overlooking the festival, with above them the moon, as well as Enel heading straight to it with his Arc Maxim, hoping to reach Fairy Earth. The following scene takes place at a children's park where they are hanging out together, with Nami already having a cup of noodles in her hand. Vivi's outfit in this case is white, likely mimicking her white outfit during the Drum Island arc. The Super Spot Build Dog Squad in this scenario are just rocking rides at the park. The members featured here are Karyu, obviously, as well as Hikoichi and Bourbon Jr. This is fitting because Hikoichi was the one that Nami rode when entering Alabasta, though Bourbon Jr. was never ridden by other Sanji or Chopper. Come on Nissin, step up your game, you gotta be more accurate than this. Anyway, behind them we have Usopp and Luffy playing together. Luffy made a snowman, but Usopp destroys it. This is a reference to Yukidaru-san, the snowman Luffy first made on the Going Merry in chapter 106 after first entering the Grand Line, which was destroyed by Usopp after Luffy destroyed his Snow Queen, which is exactly what is being paralleled here. Finally, there's these falling stars in the background that were previously seen in Zoro's commercial. It remained unclear back then what was exactly causing them, but it's quite evident right now what the cause is here. It was Fujitora. In fact, you could also spot Fujitora in the other commercial when the meteors are dropping. The final group scene shows the Straw Hats hanging out together after gym practice, holding out a group of Cup Noodles together, with the X marks on their arms being replaced with armbands. Once again, the background is filled with many different characters. On the left, we have the Blackbeard Pirates, which include Van Augur, Teach, Burgess, and Lafitte, Tony Ace, who is being held back by Whitebeard. This is likely continued from the last commercial, where we saw Teach stealing Thatch's fruit. Whitebeard stopping Ace also refers to his comment when Ace tried to go after Blackbeard, claiming that he should let it go this one time since he had a bad feeling about it, but Ace ignored him and went after Blackbeard anyways. Behind them are Kaido and Shanks looking angrily at each other, likely representing the conflict they had when Kaido attempted to go to Marineford. In a cool detail, Shanks wears his coat just like he does the escape in the main series, and we don't particularly see his arm. Next to them is Kizaru, performing one of his iconic leg sweep kicks. In this case, however, he's trying to do the water bottle keep kick challenge, which has taken the internet and particularly Japan by storm. Behind him, we can see Bartolomeo once again idolizing the Straw Hats from a distance. Finally, to the right is a more obscure set of characters, being the Tsumegeri guards of Alabasta, being Barrel, Arrow, Bram, and Hyota. If you remember them, these 4 elite guards try to fight Crocodile by drinking the Forbidden Hero Water, a drug that increases their strength for 5 minutes, but killing them shortly afterwards. So in this case, what they're drinking this in is... Oh no. Moving on to the next scene, Vivi is walking away from her school as she glances at the Sakura tree where she first met the Straw Hats. We then cut back to the train where she receives a message on her phone with a video attached to it. The sender is Luffy, with the Straw Hat being his avatar of choice. The video is only a few seconds long, but we see the Straw Hats raise their armbands together while holding a cup of noodles each, mimicking the now very iconic scene at the end of Alabasta. Vivi tears up, this movement revealing the armband on her arm, which is kept even after leaving the school. The commercial finally ends with one final Easter egg where Dory and Broggy can be seen fighting in the background over the ruins of a destroyed Nissan building. So that was all the references in the commercial, or at least the large part of them. It's still possible that there are maybe a couple little things that I missed, but I think for the most part these should at least cover the large part of the reference in this commercial. I do plan on going back and also doing the previous commercials, including the Zoro one, the Nami one, and the music video, as well as any other future commercials from Nissan, because it definitely seems like we might see more of these in the future. So stay tuned for those, and look forward to them in the near future. See ya!